Hey y'all, it's Melissa from The Little for the Kid. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I am a homeschooling mama of 3 kiddos, and today is day 4 of my back to school week. Today I'm going to talk to you about schedules and routines. So if you are interested in hearing about our routine for school, for homeschool, stick around. Okay, so first of all, I have talked about this in other videos, but if you're new here and you haven't seen any of my videos, I feel very strongly that routine is very, very important for everybody, but especially for children. Children need structure and routine, and it is healthy for them and for you as an adult. Now, that being said, there are different personalities that work better under different types of schedules / routines. So I think everybody who homeschools needs to find their own sort of groove to make this work, but I do think you need to have at least some sort of structure that is recurring and consistent within your homeschool. Now, for some people, that is a schedule down to the minute. You know, from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. we're doing this. From 9 a.m. to 10:30 we're doing this. From 10:30 to 11:30 we're doing this. At 11:30 on the dot we're eating lunch. And that works great for some people. And if that's you, that's great. For other people, they'd rather just wing it. I don't think that's the healthiest for our children, but if that works for you, so be it. For us, we like to sort of land somewhere in the middle of that, and we have a routine. In other words, we do generally the same things in the same order at around the same time every day, but it's not like when an alarm goes off, we just stop what we're doing and move on to the next thing. So let me get that out there right away. We do not have strict times about much of anything. The only exception to that is waking up and lunch. We pretty much do those things within a 15 to 30 minute window every single day. But other than that, we have a checklist of things that we need to get done every day, and we sort of work through that checklist in the same order every day, but it doesn't necessarily take us the same amount of time every day, if that makes sense. You know, so a math lesson could take 30 minutes one day, and the next day it might be a concept that's a little more difficult, so it might take 45 minutes or an hour. So we do math in the same order each day of our day, but it's not necessarily at the same time every day, and it doesn't take the same block of time every day, if that makes sense. So I have a video about my weekly planning that I posted, and so that is where I start. So our routine involves the planner heavily, because that is where the checklist lies for each day of all the things that we need to accomplish that day. So generally what we do is we get up in the morning, we do all our chores, we get dressed, we get ready for the day, we eat breakfast, and then we start school. Generally speaking, we start school at 9 a.m. usually. Now there's some days when we're all just up earlier, and if we're all up earlier and we're ready to go by 8:30, we start at 8:30. If we're not ready to go at 8:30, we start at 9, but we very rarely start after 9. So that's a fairly firm time, although there is some flexibility within that. And the first thing we always do is our morning family activities, family subjects. So we do our devotion, we do a read aloud together, and on days that we do gather around, which is not every day, but on days that we do gather around, we do that. So whatever the things are that we're doing all together, all 3 children and myself, all 4 of us, anything that the 4 of us are doing together, we do first. Sometimes that takes us 30 minutes. Sometimes that takes us an hour and a half. If we're really getting into our gather round lesson and we're really following rabbit trails and we're really interested in something and we're digging deeper to try to find more information about it, sometimes we stay focused on that gather round unit for a while, and sometimes we don't. So it just depends on the day. After we finish our family subjects, we move on to the next phase of our day, the next section of our day. That is 2 different things that happen during that phase of the day. First of all, I work with my little one on his subjects because every single thing that he does right now in 1st grade obviously is teacher led. So all of his core academic work is 100% teacher led and he needs my attention. So as soon as family things are done, I work with him and we get all of his school out of the way. We get his core academic subjects finished and done with. While I am doing that, my big 2 each grab their planners. They go to my planner and they transfer whatever I have written in my planner that they need to accomplish academically, they transfer it into their planner. There is also a place in these planners for them to put any practice or chores that they have to get done as well. So they have all their academics written here, all their schoolwork here, all their chores and anything else that they're required to do. And they make sure that everything in my planner matches their planner. And they do any and all of their work that they are able to do independently. If they come across something that they don't understand or they need help with, they set that aside and they save that for later in the day. So I'm working with my little one, Ford, on all of his subjects that are teacher led that we do together, the 2 of us, and my other 2, who will be 8th graders this year, are working on their independent work. Silent reading and all their core academic subjects they can do independently, they're working on at that time. They save anything that they need help with so that I don't get interrupted. Generally, that takes us all the way to lunchtime. At lunchtime, after lunchtime, I guess I should say, is when we finish anything else that's left. Some days we curl up on the couches in the living room and we do some more read alouds together as a family. Sometimes I have a video that goes along with our gather round unit that I want to watch. Sometimes we go sit out in our backyard and read something together. It just depends on what everybody has left, but we basically finish up our task list that's written in our planners. We finish that up after lunch. So you can pretty much always guarantee that Ford is done with school by lunchtime. The big kids, sometimes they're done and we don't have any more school to do after lunch. Sometimes everything in their core academic subjects they had no trouble doing by themselves, and so after lunch is over I check through it all, make sure they've done it all correctly, and we're done. Other times they have several things that they didn't understand, and so we might spend an hour or even 2 after lunch working through those things. Sometimes one of my kids, especially one of my big kids especially, really likes doing things with me. He would rather do it together. He would rather read it together. He'd rather discuss it together with me. And let me tell you something. My 14-year-old wants to spend time with me doing his work that he could do independently, but he wants to do it with me. I'll take it, man. If my 14-year-old is choosing to spend time with me like that, I'm going to do it. So there are days where he and I will sit and reread everything he's done together and talk about it and check over his answers, and we'll spend 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon doing that, because let me tell you something. If he wants to spend time with me, I am not telling him no. Not doing it. So that is generally our daily routine. Now we do have a few interruptions to our routine throughout the week. On Thursdays we have co-op. Now we don't start co-op until after Labor Day. So we don't start co-op until September. So prior to that, for the month of August, generally speaking, we school Monday through Thursday and we take Fridays off. We just school 4 days a week. Once co-op starts, we're still schooling at home 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and co-op is on Thursdays, and it's from 9 to 3. So it takes essentially our whole day, but we all love it. All 3 of the kids love it. I love it. I'm teaching a class this fall, so I'm excited about that. So starting in September, our schedule looks like that because we're not home for the majority of the day on Thursdays. So that is what our routine looks like. I don't call it a schedule because I think when I think of a schedule, I think of specific times and specific blocks of time, and that's not how we function. We just get things done in a specific order. So, and as far as my big kids doing their independent work, I let them choose whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. Like I don't specify that they do math first and then, literature and then grammar, and then I don't do that. They're allowed to do it in whatever order they want to do it as long as they get it all done. So that is how we school. So I'd love to hear about your routines. Don't forget to check out the information in the description box about the giveaway this week, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.